Right.
Awesome.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Alchemy podcast with me, Drew Renee, in Atlanta, Georgia, and my co-host Steven. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm coming to you from Montreal, Canada.
Yes,
Super happy to be here. Go ahead.
yes. No, this is super exciting. We have our first guest ever, Miss
Woo!
Erika Furuzono, who is an Akashic reading and love coach, and we're so happy that she's here because she has a lot of amazing information to share with us and with all of you who don't know what an Akashic reading is, and who also want to know just more about the different connections that we have to other star systems. So Erika, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Erika Furuzono. I'm rapid love transformation expert. I help people to break through uncertainty, emotional pain, and fear in relationships to get clarity and happy love life without settling for less. And I'm also
Awesome.
as well.
Very cool
Awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, and so what inspired you?
I think we can start. Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. Go for it.
It's actually I started out as a energy worker. I have been doing matrix energetics. Then I was doing that to people around us. And the matrix energetics is a modality taught by angels to founder Richard Bartlett. And basically work with a quantum field to change transformation really fast.
Oh, wow.
So that was the fastest modality I ever known. And I was talking to my guide. My guide was still, but archangels. And I was fed up by all this modality. It was so slow for me to have a transformation. So I was yelling at Archangel Raphael, and can you just introduce me something really fast? And it's going to take 200 years for me to change. So next day I saw the drawing of Virgin Mary next to some matrix energetics practitioner blog. And I was like, okay, that is a sign, maybe I should.
Yeah.
And then I went to the seminar and I was still skeptical because I told them I'm not going to pay any like a healing modality, like even 1 cent. That's what I told archangels because I was working at the entertainment field. So I wasn't really thinking about being a coach or, energy worker at that time. And then I went to the seminar. I was so hooked because it was like very different. I could feel the vibration. It was really high. And I started out that. And then, but I was never thought of doing this as a professional. And then I came across BQH because I wanted to connect with Oversoul. And by then I was talking to 90 Arcturians because I'm a Pleiadian. And
Nice.
that was my major, people to talk to. Because I finished talking with archangels. We talked enough.
Like, I'm done with them.
Great. And so what are the Arcturians like?
I did a big session, and then I found out, I already knew I was Starseed, but I really wanted to know whole galactic history, my version of history, and why I'm here. And the Oversoul started showing me everything while they're talking in kind of British kind of accent through me.
Nice.
And then, wow, this is very clear. And then the lady who did a session with me was connected to Pleiadians. And then she said, oh, we're gonna bring it 2 notches up. So now you can have a more ability. Then after the session, I suddenly became clairvoyant as well.
Nice.
I started seeing me and my twin flame in the ship.
Wow.
Looking at me, so I see me, like my original form, and my twin flame in the ship of Ashtar Command. But they're looking at me, I'm looking at them. I can see it, and I was seeing inside of the ship and everything. So I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I was like impressed with BQH, and the BQH was saying like, oh, you can like combine and do stuff with other modalities, because I was kind of scared of hypnosis before. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to do anything to do with hypnosis, but I was like completely impressed. Then I started mixing modality, and then you guys are doing swap session, right? So I started doing swap session with other practitioner, and then I became friend with him because I told him like, I think I knew you before life, and we found out that we're husband and wife in past life. We're
That's
so
crazy.
Oh, wow.
and we didn't find out through our session, but he did the session with other practitioner. So I solved his immediate whatever the issue of his past life. That was my life with him, which we didn't know. So we decided to born into, I guess, medieval time in Japan. And then I was husband and wife with him. And my
Wow.
name was our daughter. And like that was really good, and then we're good friends, like but I was like, okay, so we are, when you are a soulmate, you're gonna have like, when you have a mission, like temporary mission,
Right.
you like tag up with that person as a team. Doesn't necessarily have to be twin flame all the time. Twin flame can be your child or family, right? And then I was doing mission with him without me knowing, because he never told me about his mission. So I was just, I don't know, we accomplished the mission, but I was his wife to, I guess, support him at that time. Now we're like good friends. We
That's
met.
cool how it worked out.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you had like a lot of conversations with Arcturians, and I think that people feel very connected to the Arcturians. What were like the what's the biggest takeaway that you took from those conversations? What was the common theme?
Well, usually we talk about everything. We don't really talk about esoteric stuff.
Okay.
So like my introduction to Arcturian was kind of very subtle. Like I kind of thought I needed to read a book, like a Arcturian book, all of a sudden. So I read it. And then when I was reading it, I could see like how inside of the planet is, like so clearly before I was reading it. So I'm thinking like the book was describing, but I was seeing the vision before I started reading it.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is so correct. And I was, okay, maybe I do have a connection with Arcturians. And then I started to listening to a channel. He's a few channel I indeed listen. I don't really listen to anybody because I'm very picky with the vibration.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
Listening to Daniel Scranton. And then
Yes, I like him.
he's awesome.
He's on Facebook.
Yeah, so I was like doing some session and having some clarification, and that was 90 Arcturian, but they started talking to me, like, so they became main people to talk with. And then I think at probably the same time of like did BQH for the first time or something like that, I started to channeling Kashyapians. But I couldn't really channel that long, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because it wasn't that difficult because I was clear audience to begin with. So I can hear them the way I'm talking to you guys. Only difference is that I don't speak out loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, but like I wasn't really trying to be a channel or anything. Then after you're doing more BQH to the client or swap session, whatever, your channeling ability gets increased, right?
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah, and then I started to hook up with others as well. And then this February, I was doing my swap session with, my soulmate, the guy who was my husband, who's my friend. And I was like asking all these marketing question. I don't ask anything as esoteric. I only ask like a business question. So I finished that. And then like Twin Flame Goddess Collective started speaking through me.
The Twin Flame Goddess Collective?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about
Yeah,
them?
explain that. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the collective. They are non-physical collective of twin flame goddesses. So they oversee or help people who are going through twin flame journey, but they also they're goddess, so they also go through to help people who are going through the relationship as well. So I never thought myself to be a relationship coach or focusing on relationship, because before that I was giving like a galactic session and other sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But after they came through me during that session, I kind of realized I do have a soul contract with them to work together for this. So I was like, okay, I have to change everything. Like I know I have a contract with them, and they're like, yes, you do have contract. So
That's so cool.
So
Yeah,
I was like,
cool.
okay, I can't do what I was doing before. I was doing similar to you guys, more awakening stuff and the galactic stuff, and making all episode about New Earth, and showing all these client clip from New Earth related thing. But they came over, and I'm like, okay, I do have a contract, so I do have to change everything. So I focus on my shift to that. Yeah, that's what's happened with BQA.
Very cool.
Nice. And I know on your YouTube channel you have a lot of videos talking about love and relationships and stuff, and different
Some really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like about how to know if you have real chemistry with someone. And I know it talks about like what a twin flame is. And I know you we did a session together weeks ago, and you told me what a twin flame was, because I didn't know. I thought it was like a lover, but you were like, no, the being I channel, Khan, is my twin flame.
Yeah.
Can you let the audience know what the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate?
Yeah, twin flame is a soul who are incarnated with each other for the first incarnation after you split from the source, all that is. So after you split from the source, we kind of hang around in a place like a central sun. That's where a lot of souls are hang out. Like you still have individuality, but you have a collective kind of consciousness.
Yeah.
That's the closest place you can go to the source, right? From there, you guys going to have individuality, like you guys going to be a star being and stuff like that. So when you have an individual consciousness, like means your first incarnation as a person, a being, and then your male energy embodiment and the female energy embodiment, that's a twin flame. So usually when you are born into a star system like mine, my star system is no longer in the physical. I'm from 7D Syrian galaxy planet, but our planet is no longer, it's ascended. So all my 90 probably 8% of our families are non-physical now in 12D. So not too many of us decided to descend. There are some of us, but I haven't met my kind of people, maybe only one person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a serious star system. So a lot of water planet, and our people, everybody look alike. We all look blonde, blue eyes. We look like a model, but it doesn't matter what we look like because everybody looks like a very similar, male or female, but your soul vibration is different. So you're born, me, that's your pair, and you do your mission. You do your mission which you decide what kind of mission you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need your counselor. So you go to the council. There are each galactic council in each planetary system. So we do have our councils in our galactic system. And they're not like, wow, they're better than us or anything. They just know more.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's to like military mission. When you enlist yourself to the mission, instead of like, okay, you're just gonna be a pilot on the ship or something, that's a different training. But you're gonna go to other planet to do the mission, which is like different from your planet. You don't know so many things. So
Mm-hmm.
you need your buddy, someone who
Yes.
you can trust, who gonna be there like no matter what happened. And you
Yeah.
can't go by because it's so strange and different. So twin flame is your permanent team buddy who's gonna go to mission with you, who happen to be your partner. So you do make, you do create life. And when higher being do create life, you can create the babies energetically as well, just putting hand like this to each other, and then you can create the baby with your energies.
Wow, that's wild.
You can
That's really
choose
cool.
human method too to experience pleasure. So
Right.
even like a 7D, like a semi-physical being like us, we could choose to make human way or energetic way. You still have a choice.
That's cool.
So the twin flame is not just a lover, because you're just gonna always tag up as a team to do the mission. So it's not always necessary to be a husband and a wife or a boyfriend and girlfriend. Sometimes twin flame born into your family member as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when you told me with Khan, he's like my masculine counterpart,
yeah,
and he actually feels more fatherly to me in this lifetime.
yeah,
But he's my twin flame because he's helping me on the mission and that we have together.
yeah. I can feel him. I
You
can
can
feel
feel him?
his deep love toward you. It's
Yes.
like very soothing. Like, oh my god, it's like makes me feel more like your last episode. You're talking about higher beings like them. They don't have too much emotions, and they don't have. We don't have too much emotions, like a variety of emotions like humans. Uh, like my planet, we had joy, um, happiness, peace, passion. That's about it. But not like passion, like the human passion, like fiery one, but more like passion. I really want to do this, and it makes my heart sing. That kind of passion, but not like fiery passion, right? So you
Okay.
don't have any other feelings, and then you have to learn those feelings when you descend to lower densities
Mm.
dimensions. Because once they're gonna drop you from 7D to 3D, you're gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So twin
Right.
is the one, your body, like your permanent body, who's gonna go through the mission. Sometimes your twin flame will stay in higher realms to guide you, because depends on the mission, it's easier
Right.
because you have to watch out for each other, right?
Yeah.
And let's say in that case, your twin flame is like some other dimension guiding you, and you can have a communication with each other. But you want to have a physical mission body.
Right.
Then you may choose soulmate, which is the people who you have been born into same galactic systems. So you resonate with them in the same vibrational level. So they are your real family. So you don't really come from, let's say, Pleiades. You've been so many different planets, like of different dimensions, dimensions like 60 or 70 or 80. They're all of your families, you know. You
Okay.
have all this soul signature and the vibrational signature um, within you. So they vibrate similar way. They're in the real sense of the family. So you do understand each other. So when you do the mission, let's say, okay, I want to do something similar. So let's be a team for this lifetime and let's do it. That's a soulmate. Like
Okay.
soulmate is somebody that it's so easy, everything goes so smooth, and once you're together, it's like so much harmony, ease. You don't have too much challenge. Like when you have a challenge, even though you have the challenge, you can easily overcome with the challenge because you two are soulmate.
Right. So
Evening.
quick question though, when we incarnate into the 3D, there's like that veil of forgetfulness where we forget who we are and where we come
Yeah.
from and our twin flame. What are some of the ways we can do to find out who our twin flame is? Well, how can we find something like that
Question.
out?
Well, you won't find out through, let's say, best way is, I do offer twin flame regression. That's a good way to find out, because that's my personal experience that if you go through, let's say, some other people, they have their opinion about what twin flame is, and then they like higher self, they know that. And when you go through Akashic record, for example, Akashic record doesn't really say this person is soulmate or this person is twin
Right.
flame. That is a label, but they have a name in the record, and they do have a, kind of like what kind of soul contract you made with each other. So it's almost like a fact, like facts without any kind of coloring.
Right.
So like, how do you find out? You know innately, but like maybe it takes time, because in the beginning, you feel like home when you meet that person, but you don't, that's, I'm talking about my experience, right? But
Okay.
you don't really have any kind of a romantic feeling toward the person. Like your heart is not gonna sing, or, oh my God, this is the first time, first sight, not like that. You're gonna feel very familiar with that person and comfortable, but not like, wow, I'm in love.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes
So it's gonna
sense.
be, yeah, like it's more steady and like peaceful rather than like that overcome like a passion.
No,
No. Okay.
you feel like
Okay.
home.
If you like
Feel
tone.
like
Okay.
home.
I
Feel
think
like,
it was Buddha that said that if you meet someone and your heart flutters and you freak out and you're like in love, then that's not your soulmate. Your soulmate will be the one that you're even keeled and steady and feel at peace. So it kind of matches what you're saying a little bit.
yeah, like twin flame, you feel home, and soulmate, you feel familiar, and you like that person, and somewhat you feel like you knew that person before, so you feel comfortable right away.
Okay. All right, awesome. And if we could just back up and explain to people who have never heard of the Akashic records and what an Akashic reading is, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, Akashic record is a record, that energetic record, kind of like a history book of your life. Each person do have that book. You have your own book of Earth history. So they have an Earth history we call as the Akashic record. And they also do have a galactic record, which is like including Akashic record or galactic history. And that's, each star system do have the library of galactic record that you can access to energy that you are not familiar with.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to borrow that in order for you to do the mission. Or if you are the higher self and you're operating in a higher level, you know, guidance to me, let's say, my me in the ship is borrowing that energy and using it to, I don't know how I'm doing it, to use it for me or something like that. So
Hmm.
I've seen a galactic library in swap session, And that was different from Akashic record. But when I was doing Akashic record, a lot of people asked me about their galactic questions.
Yeah, I'm not
And
surprised.
I didn't have to switch the book. It's just the record keeper just looked at galactic version of the book. So
Wait.
I wasn't really sure how it works because I do channel the record keeper, gatekeeper, because I thought I'm gonna see the book. I do see it sometimes, the vision when I'm reading the record of someone, but more like I'm bystander and looking at the vision while record keeper is talking through me.
Okay. And who is this record keeper? Like, is there only one?
No, I think they are the collective.
Okay.
So
And what do they do?
they make sure Akashic record is stored and kept, and not gonna be only you. Not everybody have the access to the record. When you have a bad intention or something, or you are like a true service to self-oriented and use it for some your own selfish reason, I don't really think they can access to it. So their the consciousness. I heard that like angels are record keeper too. I'm not really sure, but I'm not really sure if they are, because if they are, I wouldn't get that tired after like accessing like Akashic record. So they're different beings, and they're just created for that. Like angels are created to serve for the all that is, and Akashic record keepers are created to make sure Akashic record is there. If you need to have a deletion, they're gonna help you out for that. But it's more of knowing your relationship or knowing your contract to someone that will help you to go through your path. So you have clarity of what do you need to do your life, right? Let's say if in my case I was thinking, oh, I just gonna do galactic, session. If you guys, people want galactic session with me, I still do it. But I was thinking I'm gonna do galactic, session. So I was just doing that because I was stars, sheet, and I know other planets. So I was like, okay, that must be my thing. But like, twin flame goddess collective like appeared out of nowhere, and then you have
That's
to
awesome though.
to yourself, to your contract, because I kind of realized that that is my contract, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I knew about it. I knew about twin flame, but I wasn't really thinking about serving people that way.
Right. It's I think it's
your private journey and something you keep as a private. And I don't have anybody else in my life, in my physical life, who are going through twin flame journey. So to me that was more like private stuff, and nothing to do is like, okay, you're gonna make us a service.
Right, yeah.
So
But
I was into taking all this relationship coaching and the stuff, but that was more like hobby. I never thought that's gonna be something like a part of your mission, part of your contract. But when you're shown, let's say, Akashic record, and then you realize, okay, that's some contract you made with particular person. Like if you have a husband and then your relationship is not going so well, and you want to know what the nature of this relationship is. A lot of the times the karmic contract. So a lot of the people go through their marriage. Divorcing with your partner is not always a bad thing, because I know people around me who go through very amicable divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still friends because you know, they kind of raised up vibrationally.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seeking for a new partner who is more of same soul tribe, because karmic partner is also a lot of the times they are not from your soul group or not even your soul family, but you decided to form the relation, so you're going to grow more when you interact with people who are different, you know, kind of group, which is not your soul family or soul group. So different from you. So if that person is so different, of course you're going to go through a lot of challenges, but you're going
Right.
to grow more, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, so that's kind of like helpful to find out like, okay, what kind of relationship am I having with my partner? What kind of relationship am I having with my parent? You know, a lot of times you want to know that. So you kind of like have clarity and peace. Like, okay, I don't get along with my family at all. And I feel like I'm a black sheep in the family. But after you look at the record, you know why. You know why you made this contract, so you can be at peace that you don't have to have like, you know, stereotypical happy family relationship with your parents, because you know your contract.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that for sure.
Yeah.
So Akashic record is something, you know, the book, it's about you, and it explains what kind of contract you are having with the people.
Yeah, and I definitely during our session, which was really, really cool. When you were doing like your process of getting into the records, I saw myself with Khan, and we were kind of walking up the stairs of this library, and we saw like these guardians kind of protecting the library, and they had like Khan had to tell them, "Hey, it's okay. Like we're here for this reason." Um, so I thought that was really, really cool. And then during our Akashic reading, I asked you about like personal relationships, and you were able to give me that information and explain more of like why am I experiencing this issue, or why am I connected with this person? And we learned about why we're connected as well. So you definitely can learn a lot from an Akashic reading.
Yeah, from that library you have access to, it's probably the library for Andromedans. You know,
Mm.
each planet they have their own branch of the library, but
Okay.
Akashic record is more Earth oriented.
Okay.
Each each planet, which is more, um, I don't like to say the advanced society, but sorry, I have to use that. More advanced society. They
They
have,
are more advanced.
yeah,
For sure.
galactic library. So it's not only our planet history or our planet individual, let's say Andromedan history, they have all galactic history. So anything, let's say Andromeda did have a relationship or where the Andromeda come from, all this whole galactic history is there. So it has to be protected.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, there's like a lot of information, and it's like you were saying before, like someone with the wrong intentions can do a lot of negative things. So that's why there's like the record keepers, and why there's a lot of like anyone can't just enter the records.
Yeah, because like each, like my planet, I saw the library. It was like very metallic looking. Like it's like a, it's it's a metallic, but not like metal we see on Earth. The
Huh.
closest way to explain is like a floor is metal and the bookshelf is metal, and book looks like silverish looking, and it's loads of books. And
That's
then me
cool.
and my that's like a, we are traveling in one timeline which I don't remember, which is like a different timeline as who we are. And then that timeline I didn't personally experienced, but we access to that timeline because each timeline exists, right? Depends on the choice, no matter what studying you are. So that was before our planets ascend. But for some reason, me and my twin flame has to go access to particular vibration which we are not accustomed to, which is like some reason that it is helping to do the mission. So that was the reason why we visited that library. But I knew that was galactic library, but that was first time we been like entered the library. But they do have all these energetic samples there as well, because like let's say you need to do some kind of mission in 60 or something or whatever, right? And then as a 7D being, they may have more emotions than we are. So some of the emotions, let's say, we are not familiar with, or if we are stumble into 4D, that was part of the plan, and I was, and then you're fine because you know who you are, but it's very strange, different places, and then you know the vibration is so different, and then let's say if you have to do your mission work in 4D planet, and you have to borrow those vibrations because you don't have it to begin with. So that you can borrow that from the galactic library as well. So each planet, they have each galactic, I don't know how many libraries they have in each galaxy, but they do have their branch, like Andromedans, they have their Andromedan library, Pleiadians, they have their own library, Arcturians, they have their own library. And then a lot of us do share similar galactic history because we do share the galactic heritage.
Okay.
Because a lot of the humanoid form of, I'm talking about a lot of the people who look like Pleiadians. I'm just using Pleiadians as an example.
Like, and what do Pleiadians look like for people who don't know?
Blue eyes, tall.
Do you know one more time?
It's similar to us, but we know we are not Pleiadians.
Okay.
We vibrate in a different way. So you do have your, what you're gonna call it? Your vibration is like your fingerprint, so you can fake it. Even archangels, they have their own vibration, so you can fake it. You have the each individual vibrations, so that's how you can distinguish with each other. So it's not about what do you look like.
It's like how you resonate, what your frequency is at, right?
Yeah. Like let's say us and the Pleiadians, we may look very similar to human eyes, but we know our differences. But those people, they came from planet of Lila, and then they had a bunch of different species, including blonde blue eyes people. So they are kind of like spread around the different star systems. So we are like all cousins in a way. So we're not that different from each other.
What is their frequency like? Because I've always been very attracted to the Pleiades for no reason at all. Like even when I knew nothing about anything galactic, the Pleiadian collective always resonated with me. So what's their frequency like, if you know a little bit about that?
Yeah, I do Christine Day's work. I love her. She's super like having high vibrational stuff. So you want to check out. Anyhow, Pleiadians vibration is they're heart-centered. So they do teach people or beings how to be heart-centered. They are operating mainly from heart. So their vibration is extremely love-oriented. So if we have to compare like Pleiadians to others.
What about like Arcturians or Andromedans? Can you compare that energetic contrast?
They're more of, let's say, focusing on love and the relationship. So they also do enjoy like being couple.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I haven't visited like 4D Pleiades or anything. Like I know up to 5D. So from 5D, you only have your twin flame partner. So they do enjoy their partnership with each other while they are teaching what love is. Because Pleiadians, they ascended, they went through ascension through love and relationship. So
Gotcha.
there's so many ways to ascend, but they use the love and the relationship with each other to ascend.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's very interesting, like different from, let's say, Arcturians and stuff like that. It's not like, we don't love other. It's just you have so many different ways to ascend. But the Indians are more love relationship oriented and then very close to human.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel as though as a collective, like a lot of people are they resonate with the Pleiadian collective. People resonate with different collectives, but for some reason on the forums and different Facebook groups, you always see like the Pleiadians as like the popular one, or Arcturians actually, but one of those two are the ones that as humans we kind of resonate with a little bit more, I've noticed. And I guess you mentioned why they're very closely linked to us. So
because Pleiadians, we use the Pleiadians physical prototype when we created human being.
Okay.
That's one part of galactic history I can share with you. That's my history. So when I didn't come from that timeline, but I know that timeline. Like when Astor asked us, do you want to enlist yourself to create living being on Earth? Nothing is created yet, so you guys can go. Of course, you went through a lot of permission level in order to some being who has a creator ability to create humans. You can just go to other planet without any permission, creating the hell out of other people. You cannot do that. But when you asked, and I was like, okay. So we went there, but it wasn't only us. It was other people from other planets. And that's how Lemuria has created. So we are the Lemuria in the sky, and then we are there. So we are being kind of priestesses, but we weren't humans. We were who we are. And then we use the Pleiadians prototypes, the physical structures to create humans. And mixed with all other genetics of other beings as well, but mixing with Earth living being with Pleiades body prototype. That's how physical form of humans are created.
Yeah.
So part of the reason why Pleiadians are heavily involved in human ascension, because they are sort of like energetic entanglement.
Right.
Like none of us had an intention of bringing 5D to 3D kind of descension of Earth.
Right.
That happens. So when stuff happens, in a way, you feel responsible, right? So
Yes.
Pleiadians are hugely involved in beginning of the creation of humans. They are not the only group who created, but let's say blonde, like Caucasian type of people originally, they are using Pleiadian prototypes.
Okay. And so just for people who may not know about anything about Lemuria or how human beings were created, I know that in a few Dolores Cannon books, And you can also look up the Galactic History by Andrew Bartzis, and he has like a whole video series just for those who are like totally lost and like don't know, kind of can't follow this conversation. There's a lot of resources available to break
It's
it
a
down
lot.
even further.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other galactic beings used other prototype as well. So there are other beings have they use that prototype, or they use the Asian feature of high civilization. They mix with a race, so they do have a more group-oriented nature. So different groups, not necessarily, you know, the original group who created human in Lemurian time, but at other times they have created all different prototypes. They did have their own agenda and everything, but regardless which race we belong to, like all of humans are a mixture of different genetic, like galactic DNAs, and some of the depends on what kind of family history you have. Some of us do have a more of Arcturian DNA than others. So what I was talking to one of the conversation with Arcturians, they said, well, you know, a lot of people push vegan and you have to be vegan and stuff like that. I cannot be a vegan.
Me neither.
I can feel the vibration, and I thought about doing that, and I did that for a year. I lost so much weight and I looked like anorexic.
Yeah.
So I had to eat like chicken, and I had to eat like not too much. And sometimes I do eat the beef, but sometimes depends on your family origin, you know, Earth family origin, your structure, what kind of food is helpful for ascension is different.
Yeah,
so you have to
you
your body, because
yeah.
you know, physical DNA prototype is different, because a lot of beings came to create all those people.
Yeah.
So all these structures are different.
And you told me, you told me during our session at the end, I was like, what else should I know? And you talked to me about diet, and you're like, yeah, yours should be like 60% like high frequency fruits and like vegetables and stuff, and then 40% of like the carbs and cheese and other foods. So like everyone is different. You don't have to be vegan and all that.
Oh,
you broke up the whole time, so you might want to
Did I
repeat.
really? Okay, sorry. So during my Akashic reading, at the end, I was like, what else should I know? And you talked to me about diet. And you were like, I should be about 60% like high frequency foods, like fruits and vegetables, and then 40% like meat, cheese, and dairy, and other things like that. So everyone's different. You don't just have to be vegan or vegetarian, which is nice.
You can't, like,
Amen.
if you want to, your body not gonna keep it unless like we all ascended to 5D and shifted 5D, then it doesn't matter what we eat. But up to then, we have to follow our physical whatever the need.
Can you tell people what 5D is?
5D
we haven't talked about that.
That's the beginning of service to others. So you started having more awareness of other galactic society and the galactic being, and you also having the realization you are the part of galactic community. So you're no longer relying on others. You're completely free. You're no longer relying on others. And then the society is not structured. You know, there's nobody who is above you or below you. Everybody is equal. And you do something, you're good at it. So you do that. So people come to you and ask for your help because you're good at that. But that doesn't mean you're better than other people, because other person is good at this too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So vibrationally, you are higher than 3D or 4D. So you are no longer focusing on service to self. They're like service to self being in 5D and 6D level as well. But you're more on focusing on group consciousness and how can we, instead of not I want to do this, I want to do that, like how can we, make a better society? How can we change?
It's safe to say all three of us are definitely operating in 5D then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Competing with each other, cooperating with each other. Like how can we do stuff together to serve more people?
That's the goal, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and
soul groups, soul families are gathering toward each other when we started to ascend from 4D to 5D. Right now we're in 4D, but we
Crazy.
started to meeting our soul tribes, right? Instead of like hanging out with the people you used to know, which is fine, but you know the difference, like they originate in a different way. You can still have a friendly relations with people or family, but you know they're not your people.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's like as you, I guess, ascend, you'll start to gravitate to people who are more like resonating on that higher frequency.
Yeah,
And I definitely noticed that. I've noticed that, like, kind of people kind of falling away from my life, and me meeting people who, like you guys, who I can work with, and we can talk about these things. And
Yeah.
it's really cool how it
The
is.
more you
Like,
connect with different people, the more that the stories are the same. More people are
yeah,
falling away from the people that they've had in their circle, and their circle is changing towards more people who have ascended and awakened and that kind of stuff. It's really cool to see where we're going
hmm,
as a collective.
it
oh
is.
yeah,
Yeah. You are saying in last episode that you don't want to settle in the relationship, like people around you are getting married and having a relationship, and you're wondering why you are by yourself. Like my point of view is, people like us, unless you're in twin flame relationship or something, or you have a contract with your soulmate, uh, we are here for servicing others. So when we
hmm,
know the mission, that's the most important thing, right? And
yeah,
then we started seeing that other people are seeking for the relationship because they're lonely, or they're looking for validation that am I good enough, or like try to find someone who's gonna like get rid of your void,
mm,
you know?
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
longing that people have that they just need someone next to them, and they just kind of settle for whatever comes their way a lot. So,
Once you
I've definitely
start,
done that.
once you start to awaken, you know you're never alone. Even though you're physically by yourself, you know your guide. You can talk to them. Like I can talk to them, so I never feel I'm alone.
yeah,
And
Right.
you feel like if you want to be in the relationship, you want to be in the relationship which is meaningful. Like that means like, how can you be in the relationship that so you and that person can serve together? You don't, most of the relationships that people are going through is karmic relationship because they haven't doing their own self work or whatever. So they have to go through their soul expansion through karmic relationship, which is not
Hmm.
necessary, people who are awakened have to go through. It's a choice because we
Right.
are already doing our self work. So we don't have to expand our soul that way.
Right.
That's
I
why
love that.
you feel like you're not alone, but you don't have to go through karmic relationship like others.
Right. And I think I love like you talk about self-work, and like the inner work is so, so important. And relationships is one way that you can kind of learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn. Um, and also I remember you telling me like in our session about my future husband or whatever, and how we will be of service to humanity together. And
I'm
you said
jealous.
you said that, well, he's not here yet.
Yeah,
He's not here yet, but also you said that I would have to start on my path
Yeah.
of doing what I'm supposed to be doing before my path would cross with him.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's how what's going to happen to, according to my knowledge, like a lot of people who are doing service, like they meet their either twin flame or soulmate, and they're going to start doing serving others.
Very cool.
Because you don't really have to go through karmic relationship, you know, after you go through your self-work, you don't have too much stuff left, right?
And that really resonates because I don't feel the need in my life to have someone to work through lessons with. I work through them by myself.
Yeah.
Through, like Drew said, inner work, through shadow work. All of that was done. I don't need someone to like put me through it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, even like, you know, the relationship, when you're having the relationship, that's sort of like when you're not having a happy relationship, you know, that's a shadow work. So
right, the unhealthy relationship isn't shadow work.
it is. Because like a lot of karmic relationship is, I feel like shadow work, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh yeah, and that's what a lot of people come to like BQH sessions or even Akashic reading for. They're like, I keep attracting a certain type of person. Why is that? And it's like you have to work through karma.
Yeah. Or you know, when the person is, you know, I help a lot of clients like not sure what to do in the relationship. They're in the relationship, but not completely happy with their partner.
Mm.
But you know, not really sure if they have to move on.
Right. And how
So
do you help them figure that out, what they should do?
well, you know, we work on to get clarity, and we make sure to get you know, Akashic record reading is part of my coaching program. So, you know, Rapid Love Transformation Program. So that's one of the important things they have to understand, like what kind of soul contact you're having with your partner or your husband or, you know, your parent. So when you have clarity, you can make a decision. Because no matter what kind of a level of being you are, even 7D being, like choice is always ours. No one
Mm-hmm.
else asks what to do, right? Because you're sovereign individual, you know, soul.
Yes.
So when you have a clarity, and then the record is having some fact of the nature of the relationship. Okay, you're having this relationship in order to learn this lesson. So let's say you finish this lesson, and then you're done with it. So is it like really something you want to keep on hanging on with this person because you feel like you don't want to make the person hurt, or you know, you want to keep peace with everybody, but you do have another person waiting for you to go to the next level.
But you gotta let that old stuff go once you've learned the lesson, right?
Yeah.
And
So
so tell us more about your coaching program, because I'm sure people want to know, because a lot of people can resonate with, you know,
yeah,
going through
so
love karma.
I use a lot of modalities, like including matrix energetics, because my specialty is transformation, like rapid transformation. So I work with Twin Flame Goddess Collective, and when people want to go through my coaching program, a lot of clients are twin flame people and soulmate people, or who are in the regular relationship, but they want to know like the nature of the relationship, and then they also want to know if they're going to meet their soulmate or twin flame in the future.
Who
So
doesn't want to know that?
so they're going to go through we're going to go through you know, looking at the Akashic record, and also go through the regression. And the regression is helped by Twin Flame Goddess Collective. So we are doing a session together. They are the ones who are going to guide the people to go through that part of their timelines.
I
So
love that.
they don't have to go through other past life, which is nothing to do with their issues or their relationship with their current husband or whatever, right? then you don't want to see some like unrelated past life of 12th century, wherever you're with somebody else which got nothing to do with the question you're asking about.
We've all been through it, though, I think.
So
you get down to the point.
yeah, they're the one who is guiding my clients. And then when we go through the sessions, then when we see something need to be resolved during the session, we're gonna work the client team, Twin Flame Goddess Collective, me, and my team to take care of it energetically. And then, you know, we're gonna create a plan individually for the client because it's different. So just because it's a coaching program, it's not like a cookie cutter because everybody will have their different thing they have to transform themselves about.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about this with all spiritual teams and decide the plans. And then it's a 6-week coaching program.
I love that. That sounds
Very
really
cool.
interesting. And I feel like that would be so helpful, especially because it's very individual based. It's based on the specific person's story and their records and their past lives.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to help out in that aspect. I mean, I happened to took a lot of coaching, like when I was before awakening, because I was into that. I never thought I gonna be the one, you know.
Right?
But like to me, relationship is very important part of everybody's life that it's gonna help you to grow tremendously. You know, if you're currently not in the relationship and then you're not seeking anything like you know, not settling for less. I totally can agree on that because I'm the same way. Because it's much more useful to spend your time for serving other people than wasting your time for the
sure.
karmic partner, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you know, people who are going through a lot of different kind of relationships and they want a clarity, they also want to heal their traumas. And, you know, a lot of stuff comes from their childhood, you know, experiences and stuff like that. And also ancestral relations as well. So we're going to help out, you know, people to raise their vibration in relationship aspect. So that's
awesome.
what we're going to, you know, we're going to provide to people for.
That is absolutely amazing and absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
For sure. I wish I knew about that because I did a love and relationship coaching program last year and it was super helpful, but I would love to have included the Akashic readings and the BQH too. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, we feel like it's very important to include like energetic help as well, because like you can get regular coaching, which is really helpful. It was helpful for me. But like when you don't, let's say if you're not awakened or whatever, or even if you're awakened, like, you don't know how to access to all these modalities, how are you going to, you know, harmonize all these issues?
Right.
And once there, of course, it's going to keep on repeating your cycles over and over again because that's kind of your soul mechanism to keep on repeating cycles to hopefully this time you're going to break out from this, whatever the issues you're having, you know?
Yeah, but it helps for sure to have help and support and guidance through those because it can be really, really hard to break those cycles alone.
Plus, like when you're, let's say, going through your own issue, you become really emotional. So like even as, you know, practitioner, we're gonna ask our colleagues to do our session because we can solve everything on our own. Because when it comes to our personal stuff, you know, we get too emotional about it.
Yeah. And I know, and one thing that so many healers and facilitators say, like, healers need healing too. And I've definitely, as I'm stepping into this role of being more out there, like, I've upped my healing sessions because it's so necessary.
It is, and plus it's important for us to keep our vibrational level in certain level, so we can serve other people in clear manner, you know.
Sure. Sure. Well, do you have any more questions, Stephen?
I'm good. I think we can wrap things up. This was super, super informative.
Yeah.
Erica, if any of our listeners want to book a session with you, a coaching session, or take an Akashic reading, where can they reach you at?
You can find me at you know, same directory as you guys at quantumhealers.com with my name, Erika Furuzono with K, Furuzono. Or you can go to my website, Angel Dust Productions, or you can go to also YouTube, youtube.com/Angel Dust Productions.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Definitely a great resource. You provided like so much insight on things that like are necessary to know. So I appreciate you being on today. It was really, really cool.
Yes. Chock
Drew,
full of information.
where can listeners find you?
So, well, also our listeners can join our Cosmic Alchemy Listeners
Yes, they
podcast, which
can.
will be linked below. And you can also reach out to me at pastpresentandfutures@gmail.com if you would love to book a session. And what about you, Stephen?
Yeah, you can get you can get me on Instagram. All my links and information are there at Steve_untangled.
Yes. And thank you all for listening, and we hope to
Thanks,
see you
guys.
guys
See you on the
next
next
time.
one. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.